What's up? Welcome, everyone. It's Tuesday, and like usual, we have no idea what we're doing.
We literally sat down a minute ago.
We're a little bit out of practice. That's okay, though.
That's all right.
Is this playing? Is the music playing?
Do you hear us?
Impossible to know.
Let us know if you can hear.
I got the backup window up now. I feel like I can hear us.
Okay.
Yes, we should be okay.
All right.
We should be okay on audio. I don't know if there's music playing or not. Is there? There it is. Okay.
I hear the music.
We're good. Can you tell we're a little bit out of practice?
We haven't done this in a minute.
I haven't done this in about a month.
Oh.
But there's good reasons why we haven't done it in a month, and we're going to talk about some of those reasons.
We've been on a holiday.
We've been on holiday, and then on
working
health and wellness leave. Actually, we've been putting out more content than we usually do.
Yeah, you so actually once you recovered from your
don't spoil it
incident. We've released 2 vlogs in a week, and we're doing a live stream.
And we're doing a live stream, and there should be one more
Friday.
vlog coming on Friday. And then we'll be back to our normal pace because I cannot keep that breakneck speed.
And the normal pace is sometimes a video every week.
We never promise a video every week, but I feel like most weeks we get a video
Most week there's a video out.
Most weeks there's a video on Friday. Sometimes there's
not.
And this week, there will hopefully be a video from yesterday, Monday, and then live stream tonight, and then Friday. Yeah. So we're doing like really, really good for us in our usual pace.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into this, y'all. Yeah, we got this, right? So if you're new and you're just seeing Tim and Katie for the very first time, what a wacky evening you have ahead of you. Don't know how you found us, but welcome.
Hello.
Tim and Katie on Facebook, YouTube, and Blue Sky. The Real Tim and Katie on Instagram and Threads. timandkatie.net is our website. Normally we post some supporting blog content there, as well as some lists, as well as some opinion pieces. We're a bit behind. If you go to the website right now.
Does our media kit live there too?
Our media kit does live there as well. But that's only important if you're watching us for marketing purposes, which most people I feel like aren't. But if you go to our website right now, what you'll see is a blog post from like March and then a blog post from yesterday.
And Expo.
So we're not doing the best job of keeping up with it, but I promise we're going to be better. We just needed to get our sea legs back under us after some time away. So if you're joining us for the very first time, we normally do live streams every other week on Tuesday nights. Sometimes we move them or cancel them if things come up.
Sometimes we take a hiatus.
Sometimes we take a hiatus, usually during spooky season when we're super, super busy. We did take a hiatus last month because we were on the trip we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing that again in July for a different trip that we covered in a different live stream where we're going to Portland, Oregon and the surrounding areas, which we're really excited for. But what we like to do when we come home from a trip is to kind of like do a debrief on everything that we did on that trip. Not just because we want to talk about it, because we do. It's a fun trip.
Please. I should be wearing a shirt that says, ask me about my trip to Colorado.
But also because the vlogs don't cover everything. And there's some like in-between and interludes that we get to talk about with you guys on the live streams that we don't really get to cover in the vlogs because the vlogs are very event-based.
Yeah. I will say, we planned a certain number of vlogs for that trip, and we did not drop a single one.
But we got close.
We got close.
That was the bad. That was the bad I was going to mention.
Oh yeah, that was the bad. Okay.
We do like the good, the bad, and the ugly at the end of our recaps, and we couldn't remember what the bad was. So we had such a it was such a great trip, genuinely. Like it was a fun trip all the way around.
Yeah. See, I knew something would jog it.
Yeah. Now we have to remember it until the end, which is the hardest part.
Okay, we'll try.
So
should we get into it?
We should get into it.
Yeah.
Colorado trip report. The idea when we planned this trip was, and honestly, I think the original thought was we might not be back anytime soon, so we should try to do as much as possible.
Try to do as much.
Ironically, very much going back sometime sooner than later.
Yeah.
Oh, Jessica Horner, thank you. It's
actually
technically
like a week past my birthday, but thank you for the sentiment. I know
we're celebrating for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
straight,
we were celebrating for a while.
Once you get over 30, like you just celebrate what you
just
can.
Keep celebrating. But thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
I did have a lovely birthday. Thank you so much.
Anyway, the point of the trip was we're going to do as much as possible in a very short window of time. So the plan was to work around the state in a big loop.
Like a squarish.
We wanted to drive through the Rockies anyway. That was kind of like part of it for us. But like the day we flew into Denver and we rented a car and we were going to do like a big loop around from Denver, which is towards the eastern side of the state. It's not exactly all the way at the border, but it's closer than most of the other destinations we were going to hit. So we flew into Denver, which is a big hub, and then we rented a car, and then we were going to do a big loop around the state and eventually wind up back in Denver. More or less, we stuck to that. But we did have a couple of curveballs, and they didn't wind up all being bad curveballs. Some things we changed on the go, and some things we changed right before the trip, and they wound up working really well. So to get into where we started, when we talked about this trip happening, we had a slideshow of like, here's all the things we're gonna do, and believe it or not, we did all the things. We didn't scrub anything.
Yeah.
So we now have like here's what we talked about doing, and here's what we actually did. And the alignment is not always perfect, but
it's like Pinterest and what does that mean? It's like Pinterest real life.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Pinterest or Instagram versus reality.
Yeah.
Instagram actually was reality. Actually, reality looked a little better than Instagram.
Yeah, honestly, our pictures do not do what we saw justice.
This is not our picture. This is stock from Colorado.
Yeah. But this is what we saw.
But this is what we saw.
With our
eyes.
Like
genuinely in May in Colorado, it's still cold enough at high altitudes that a lot of the snow has not melted, and you can still see like it looks like a screensaver.
But like when you're not up in the mountains, it could be like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So
it was a very weird oscillation of temperature.
There was a lot of clothing changes.
So we, as we mentioned, flew into Denver initially, and the whole plan there was basically just to get lunch and then to move on. And that would completely according to plan. Like we made really good time. First of all, I want to say we had no problem with the rental car, which is always a worry when you rent a car because we have had issues with rental cars in the past.
Tires, we've had lights come on.
Transmission failures, which I was genuinely worried about the transmission driving through the Rockies.
Yeah.
Little known fact about Colorado as a whole, not necessarily little known for the people that live there, but for others who live outside the state, between the months of, I think, November, could be a little bit later in the year, and then the following year's May, you are required to meet a traction law. And that traction law is essentially either chains on your tires or four-wheel all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And you have to have one or the other because while the potential exists for snow in the mountains, some of those roads become really, really dangerous, borderline impassable without that kind of infrastructure in your vehicle.
Or we learn sometimes they're just closed.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. Coloradans. I feel like both
citizens of Colorado.
I feel like both are probably fine, honestly. But whatever you choose to call yourself. I actually
recently saw a graphic that said what each state's people are referred to, and I, for the life of me, can't remember if it was Coloradian.
We noticed very early on that Coloradans have no fear when it comes to these high altitude drives. a lot of the more intimidating drives for us as out-of-staters were the ones where there's a very thin line between the edge of the road and the cliff drop, and there's no guardrail. So Coloradans have no problem like swerving around you and taking all of those turns at like 40 miles an hour. And I'm just like inching along, I think I'm going to stick to the speed limit like a good citizen.
Yeah.
Because, I could die. But the drive was, no matter where we were going, the drives were impressive.
Yeah.
I think there was only one stretch, which we'll talk about when we get to this point.
That was less than
That was
ideal.
a little bit, it was literally dry, but it was also like metaphorically dry, like as compared to everything else that we'd experienced. Flying into Denver, all we had time to do was do a little bit of a shop run to get some like water bottles and some road snacks and a couple other things, shaving cream, things we knew that we had either forgotten or that
Just
we had planned to buy there so that we wouldn't have to fly with it.
Some road snacks.
And once we did that, pulled off at Torchy's Tacos, which is a chain, and it's a chain that a lot of people will know, but we don't have it in the East. On the East Coast, we do not have Torchy's Tacos. It was fantabulous, and would 110% go back there again.
It's like it's probably just basic fast food tacos for most people. Oh,
it's extremely basic.
But they had a lot of options, and it reminded us of back when Qdoba would actually do tacos, and that's what we loved to get at Qdoba was their like tacos and like a taco trio or something. So we enjoyed it.
So the drive from Denver to our first destination, originally I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half. I don't know why I thought that. It wasn't quite on the nose, but it wound up being like 3 hours. And that was fine. Like we make that drive all the time to Busch Gardens where we are. From where we are to Busch Gardens is like 4 hours. We do that like on a quarterly basis. All the time with no like PTO to use either. So we have to drive down on like a Friday night. We did this drive in the early morning hours and it was beautiful. Yeah. We stopped several times for like the roadside scenic spots, and that picture that I had up just a second ago of Katie, that was actually just like a rest stop where there's like fishing access. And so we went down and squatted on the rocks.
Communing with nature.
We were communing with nature.
They also said there were otters, and I was like, I'm gonna sit here and see if otters show up.
I'm gonna sit here until an otter presents itself.
We'll wait for otters.
Spoiler alert, no otters presented themselves. However, I will say on this trip, I'm constantly forgetting one or two of the animals, but we did like a wildlife count, and this is like wild animals, not like animals in the zoo.
I'm remembering the last ones first, which was elk.
Yes. Large elk.
Mule deer. We saw groundhog.
Saw prairie dog, which I did not expect to see.
Longhorn sheep.
Are they bighorn or longhorn?
I'm getting longhorn cattle. Bighorn sheep.
And then a dead rattlesnake on the side of the road. Wondered if we were going to see any of those, to be honest, when we got into the drier areas of the state.
Oh no, what were they called? The blackbirds with the wings, the
Batman villain.
Yep. The things that steal things. Magpies.
Yeah. Lots of magpies. So lots of wildlife. The only thing we did not see was
ground squirrel.
The ground squirrels and chipmunks. Chipmunks are basic though.
But they're cute.
We have them here. So groundhogs too, I guess.
And pretty birds that are only in that state. And
we did not see any bears. And unfortunately, that curse continues. I feel like we had a good run of seeing bears everywhere from like 2022 and back, and then like since then I think we just hit our quota, and we're just not going to see anymore.
I was gifted bear spray by your parents we were both gifted bear spray because they knew we were going to be in a place with bears. I didn't use the bear spray.
We are the bear spray.
But now they're just like they own bear spray, and now we don't want to see them anymore.
So from Denver to our first destination, about 3 hours, lovely drive, many stops. If we had to do it over again, I think we would try to squeeze in a little scenic railway because we did a few of those. Spoiler alert.
Drove through Georgetown
Loop. I hear it's short, but it looks like a lot of fun. And we stopped in Georgetown, saw it advertised. We're like, darn.
Yeah.
But our first destination did not disappoint, and that was Glenwood Springs, Colorado.
Yep.
This is a picture of Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. So far, this is the only Colorado vlog that is out, so you can actually see right now what we did in town.
Yep.
Had we known what a cute little town Glenwood Springs was going to be, or that they had their own, like not just one, but two different hot springs, active, thriving businesses that were comparable in many ways to the Pagosa Springs attraction that we canceled.
Yeah, and they had to, an adorable downtown. A lot of things are very walkable.
We might have added a little bit of time in Glenwood,
yeah.
to be honest. It honestly seems like an amazing town, and we only got to spend like a day there. Hold the story.
So we're saving it for later?
Saving it for
okay.
the end.
Okay, more to come on Glenwood Springs.
Glenwood Springs was picturesque and perfect in every way but one.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the one towards the end. I'm gonna do a little bit of
we're gonna leave that hanging for a minute.
But Glenwood Caverns, which is a separate entity, is an adventure park at the top of a 7,100-foot climb. You take gondolas to the top of the mountain, and on this mountain, as you can see in the background, there's roller coasters, there's a giant swing, there's the actual caverns, of which we made this mistake when we did our intro at Glenwood Caverns. There's actually only 2 cave systems, but there's 3 cave tours.
Yep.
We did the 2 primary cave tour
that are included
in our fun
ticket.
pass.
Yep.
And then the third one was a blacklight tour, which we got a kind of little sneak preview of, but didn't actually do. And it was like $20 extra, and we were like, we've already seen the caves. It's just glow in the dark cave at that point.
I would say if you've already been and you want to see something a little different, and you've already done those 2 caves, if you want to do the blacklight as like a new thing to do, probably fine. I probably recommend that. But we weren't interested in paying extra for it at that time. We didn't think we'd have time.
Well,
and also, it's probably not going to show up on camera.
Yes.
So.
We were vlogging, and we were allowed to shoot in the caves with the video and the photo, but we couldn't use flash. And if you're doing everything in blacklight, I just felt like, honestly, like if we had tried to film it, it would honestly have bothered other people more than it would
have been annoying.
More than it would have been like distracting to us. But also it was 40 extra minutes. Like every cave tour is 40 minutes, including the blacklight tour. And we had already done 2, and we were like, we can do a little bit more with our time.
I think we paced this day out like really well. We got there like right at open. It was not busy at all.
No.
We were there on a Sunday, which maybe in the summer, like deep summer, has the potential to be more busy, but I definitely think can recommend, like if like Colorado this time of year is lovely. Also,
there were 2 other factors though that did play a role. One of them we'll talk about at the end. It's a story we're saving. And the other factor was the weather. The forecast had thunderclouds, but be advised that when you're looking at the forecast, you're looking at the forecast for Glenwood Springs, not Glenwood Caverns. Glenwood Caverns has 7,000 feet elevation gain on the town itself. So the weather at the top of the mountain might be very different from the weather at the bottom of the mountain. The actual temperature was very similar. They said it was like 3-4 degrees different.
Yeah, it wasn't that different.
But the weather systems moving through, a lot of the weather we saw coming at us did not actually reach the height of the mountaintop we were on.
Yeah.
So it drifted right below us, and we were like, cool.
So
there was a lot to see and do at Glenwood Caverns with the 2 cave tours that were included in, I think it was called the Summer Fun ticket, which is more expensive now than it was when we went, because that's that early season, the May opening,
the pre-Memorial
we
Day.
were effectively in preseason. So like when we were there, we were paying lower rates for everything, but the weather was pretty nice, and you can see Katie in the jacket there. There were moments where I was in like basically a t-shirt, and moments when I had to like cover up with a jacket myself, and the weather fluctuated a lot while we were up there, but we honestly made the most of our time and had a great visit.
Very cool.
So Glenwood Caverns is a theme park by all definitions, except for maybe the most strictly technical. Was a bucket list theme park for us, and we have officially checked it off. And that vlog is out right now. If you want to watch it, you can go. I mean, honestly, you could do it right now if you wanted to. But if you want to stick around with us, watch it after, because it is a lot of fun, and we put a lot of time and energy into making the best video that we could from this experience. Also, our 2 cave tour leaders and some of the ride operators that we worked with that day were very sweet and looking forward to seeing that video. So I hope they got a chance to see it.
Yeah. And they were everyone we interacted with that day, even like other guests that we talked to, were just really, really awesome.
It was a fun day.
It was just a
good start.
Good day. Set us off on the right foot after initially being on the wrong foot. We'll get back there.
So moving forward into the next stop on the Grand Tour, if we had gone to Pagosa Springs as originally forecasted, the second day of the second full day of our trip would have been a much shorter travel day. However, we were still determined to make a stop that was a little bit out of the way. So Box Canyon Falls, what you see pictured here, is in Ouray, Colorado. Ouray, on its own, a much prettier town than I suspected or planned around. Like when we looked at Box Canyon Falls, we were looking at other people's videos. This is actually from someone's videos, a thumbnail or a screen grab or something. People going to see this incredibly powerful waterfall, which is really easily accessible by iron staircase. And there's a trail there as well, which we thought maybe we might not do, but we totally did, and it was totally worth it. Mm-hmm. On the way to Box Canyon Falls in Ouray, the weather changed dramatically so many times that we came close to saying, like, I don't think we can film in this. We might just want to like use the bathroom and then not get out of the car. But the weather turned by the time we got there. It wound up being honestly a beautiful day. And not only did we go to Box Canyon Falls, we actually made a stop at Cascade Falls, which was not forecasted, was not part of the video. Yeah. Why everyone should tune into the live streams and follow us on Instagram, because sometimes the long form doesn't cover everything.
This is the vlog that's coming out on Friday, right?
Hopefully. Yeah. It's about halfway done.
Yeah.
So but I've got like 5 days yet.
I think we tease going to see Cascade, and we say if you want to see those pictures, look online because it's not going to be part of the vlog. We went to that first picture is from looking at the falls down in the canyon.
As this is the one on the far right.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So that's you on the iron staircase instead of which you don't do so well with, like vertigo and looking down over rushing water.
I think it takes my body a bit to reset. Like this bridge is like, I don't know however many hundreds of feet above the canyon.
It's significant.
It's like tall. Like it looks really small when you're looking up at it. So we did the hike up there.
Like many things, scale does not show up very well on camera. So like what you're seeing there, honestly, the picture turned out great. The area looks beautiful. I get like photos and everything.
I get like the cartoony like tunnel vision when I'm looking. Like I see just like the abyss, and then I just have to like reset my brain and be like, you're gonna be fine and whatnot. But eventually I was going confidently across the bridge. But from the bridge, I looked over and I was like, there's another waterfall like dead across town, and we could see it. So after we enjoyed a couple hours at Box Canyon, we went down back to
I actually fought it a little bit. And
to the park attendant, and he said, "Oh, that's Cascade. You drive 5 minutes into town, you park, and within like less than 10 minutes, you'll find it."
When we were wrapping up and we had just about finished out our video, and like all we need to do is basically do an outro, and we're packing up and leaving. And I'm like keeping an eye on the time because I do not want to, and I'm so glad we didn't drive the $1 Million Highway in the dark.
No.
But I was like, I do not want to drive these Colorado Rockies in the dark because it's going to be difficult to navigate. And I've done it before for the wedding that we went to in 2024. It's not fun. So for our out-of-staters that are less familiar with the roads, it's especially not fun. So when she was like, we probably have time to go hit Cascade, I was like, how long are we going to spend there? Fortunately, the Cascade Falls hike is just as easy as the Box Canyon Falls hike. And you can get to the actual the lower falls. There's another trail that takes you to the upper falls, which I think is equally as, if not more impressive. The lower falls probably took maybe like 5-10 minutes to reach. And it was worth it just to go and sit. It's tall enough as a cascading waterfall that it actually disperses a lot before it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Like it blows away or it evaporates before it hits the ground. And so like by the time it actually reaches you at the bottom, there's not that much of a flow, but enough that it's really pretty. Yeah. And you can clamber all over the rocks. safely.
Yeah.
And enjoy your time there. So between those two,
I think this is
that's Cascade Falls
that's
on the left.
Cascade. Middle is bottom of Box Canyon, and then
It was a good waterfall day.
Right is you at the top of Box Canyon. Hi, John.
Hey, John. We're talking about waterfalls.
Yep, I love waterfalls.
But we'll talk about other stuff too. When we planned this trip, we were like, Colorado has so many great waterfalls. We're really not going to have time to visit most of them, but we can hit this one on the way.
And we got a bonus one.
When our plans changed, we were like, well, now it's like 30, 40 minutes out of our way, but we're still going to do it. And it was worth the stop.
Yeah.
Cascade Falls on the left was just,
so
bonus
if you're going to
round.
spend any time and you're right, I'm pretty confident you can do both. I think it's.
Oh yeah, I mean we did both inside of like 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah, and there's like a whole loop around the town that probably is like 8 miles or something if you're extremely into hiking, and you can see both, I think, in the same loop.
Much of this will be covered more informationally in the actual video, but in short, highly recommend this as a roadside stop. Ouray, honestly, is a beautiful town, and we could see ourselves spending the night there. The only caveat is that you do have to drive some of the scariest, most dangerous roads for an out-of-stater to get there.
If it's an in-betweener city for you, yeah, you're heading on what's called the $1 Million Highway, which
is spectacular.
I think it's called the $1 Million Highway because it's so beautiful, but it's also so scary. So we also
This was the
last. This is our second visit to the little Switzerland of America.
But a different town.
A
couple towns, as it turns out, quantify themselves as the Switzerland.
I would say Ouray might have it over
Probably,
Pennsylvania.
In terms of just like how it compares to the Alps.
Yeah.
This was the last, I believe, last guardrail that we saw on the highway for probably about an hour and a half. Everything after this was windy and steep. And one of the things we learned, honestly, we learned this from watching another travel YouTuber's videos before we had to put it into practice. But even with an all-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive vehicle, or with chains on your tires, climbing through those mountains can be strenuous on your transmission. So we had that little nugget tucked away from watching travel.
Yeah, I was like, turn off the air conditioning.
Turn off the air conditioning, open the windows. It'll be easier on the transmission overall. And I don't know if it was or wasn't. If
we never
any
had
math
problems.
Or magic to it, but it did get quieter.
Yeah,
the car got a lot quieter when we stopped pumping the air conditioning.
Yeah,
and honestly, at a certain elevation, you didn't even need the air conditioning. It's chilly enough.
We went up to the snow line.
Now, the reason we took the $1 Million Highway from Ouray to our next destination is because Durango, which is a much more, I would say, developed and a little less quaint of a town.
Yeah, it has it's not quite as like charming and cute.
It's a railroad town.
Yeah,
like as opposed to Ouray, which is very much like a skier's town.
It's like
Durango is a railroad town.
Ski chalet.
And although we drove past Silverton to get to Durango on our way from Box Canyon Falls and Ouray, we actually picked up the scenic railway from Durango to take it back to Silverton and then have a nice meal in Silverton and then turn around and come right back, which is fine because the point of this scenic railway, which is the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railway, or railroad rather, is not to get to a destination. It's to enjoy the journey from destination to destination.
It's a day trip.
Other John.
Hello. Oh, I had the same thought.
So the narrow gauge railway or railroad, I'm going to keep doing that because we have so many railways in the next like 6 months. Between this and all the other trains we've done, it's the year of the train.
Year of the train. I'm okay.
So the railroad itself sometimes, not always, runs diesels, but more often than not, the whole point of taking this railroad is to enjoy one of the historical locomotive routes.
Steam locomotive.
And the cars are, many of them, antiques.
Yes.
Most of them, I would argue, antiques. There is a museum at the Durango Railroad station as well. And they have some of the retired engines. They actually just pulled one of them out of retirement for the America 250.
Yeah.
But this is a historic railroad. You travel on it just like they did back in the day, except you can actually go to the cafe and get hot coffee, alcoholic beverages, etc., instead of it being prohibited by the time you're in. It's hard to quantify or to articulate what we saw on this trip. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not convinced that the camera is going to do the best job of conveying that story either.
Because we watched Downey Live's vlog on it, and I think maybe 2 more vlogs on it, and it was like, it's gonna be
actually got the short end of the stick on his Durango day, because number one, there's a couple different routes
they didn't even go to Silverton.
They didn't go all the way to Silverton because they chose a different route for time, which you can do. I was just gonna say, like, there's different packages that take you all the way to Silverton, and then bus back, all the way to Silverton.
All of the packages will include the High Line because it comes up earlier.
It's one of the first things.
And the High Line is...
Unless you get off in Needleton.
True. But
if you get off in Needleton, you're only cheating yourself.
Yeah. The High Line is... This. Like,
but it really doesn't show up on camera.
You're leaning... If you can lean over and you're seeing cliff and you're seeing water.
I want to look up how high the High Line is.
It's magnificent. I couldn't come up with words to describe what I was seeing. It was just beautiful. The water.
And you didn't get vertigo.
No, I was fine with this. I guess because I just felt safe on, like, it's when I have to be, like, responsible for my own safety that I, like, which you should be on a train. You shouldn't do anything stupid on a train. But, like,
that can't be it. It just says 200 feet. I'm like, there's no way. It's way more than
but
that.
it's 200 feet of, like, cliff. Like, there's nothing to grab onto.
I felt like there was so much. Maybe it's because, like, perspective shifts, because you can see the river coming at you from the distance and then, like, going right underneath you.
I mean, it's 200 feet.
200 feet is. I mean,
still, like,
you fall from 200 feet, you're gonna feel it, and then nothing. But but it's so impressive, and the only way to view this is by taking the Durango and Silverton Railroad.
Yeah, there's no roads.
There is no road that takes you on this route. There are no walkable or hikeable paths that take you on this route. There's a lot of this route overall that you can actually hike, because a lot of the people on our train actually stopped after the High Line, disembarked, and did a little hike, and then we actually picked them up on the way back from Silverton. So that's a different package. So
it's not to say like you can't hike in the area, but there's no like known pathways. So you'll be going like off the trails to see like this view, which is not recommended. So this was very, very cool. You do, if you take, there's different packages. We wanted to take the train there and back, which we think is the coolest way to go. So you do see it there and back, but when you catch it in the morning, there's just something that's really magnificent about the way the sun's hitting the water.
It's like being on Pride Rock.
It is like everything. I literally was hearing like this music, like just picture like the most magnificent, like Thomas Bergerson. Think of some like composers.
No one's gonna know who Thomas Bergerson.
Look him up. He does great music. I don't know. Who's the guy who does How to Train Your Dragon?
John Powell.
Like John Powell kind of music. Like that's what I was hearing in my head.
Epic is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Just orchestral epic sweeps.
Yeah.
But yeah, Durango might have been the highlight of the trip. If we had to pick one, if we had to scrub everything else we did and keep only one thing, this would be the
probably the thing.
And the crazy thing is, like, we, in preparation for this trip, as a lot of people do, we went through a bunch of YouTube vlogs looking for the best hotels in the area, things to see in the area, things to do, places to eat. And when it came to Durango, it was staggering to me how many people went to Durango for like a weekend trip and didn't do the train. And the whole town of Durango is in many ways themed. Like a lot of the bars and whatnot are themed to the old railroads. The railroad itself built the town. And so Durango is very much supported infrastructurally by the railroad, even though at this point it is a scenic railroad. I don't believe they still take freight on the narrow gauge line.
Yeah.
But they do take passengers every day, and it is used as a commuter line for, I mean, we had either an Amish or a Mennonite family that met someone in Needleton, had them board, and then took them the rest of the way to Silverton, and then came around, went back, and then dropped them back off. So it is used for like commuter purposes, but I will grant you it's not the cheapest ticket, but what we paid for was the open air experience, which is basically one level above coach, and it really wasn't that much. So if you go to Durango and you do not do the narrow gauge railroad, I just cannot express my disappointment with your life choices. It is the coolest thing ever. Now, we have a lot to say about Durango and Silverton.
But we do have a vlog.
But we do have a vlog coming. And I want to save some surprises for that vlog, because I genuinely think if you're only going to watch one Tim and Katie vlog, that might be the one. Oh, I just thought of another thing to add to our thing at the end.
Okay. Tuck it away.
Tuck it away. So, from Durango, we went on to
Canyon City.
Canyon City, and not to be confused with Box Canyon Falls, which is in Ouray, a different city entirely. I got them confused a lot when I was booking things.
But they're spelled the same way. The N with the
C-A-N with the N, and then O-N.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember what the little curvy accent is, but it makes the Nya. Canyon.
So, Royal Gorge Bridge Park. Royal Gorge Bridge and Park? Royal Gorge Bridge Park. I don't know. Royal Gorge is the area that you're seeing. This suspension bridge is the highest. I don't know if it's strictly speaking the tallest, because that might be measured with a different stick. But it's the highest suspension bridge in North America. For a brief period in time, it was the highest in the world, but it's been displaced now by China. So when we went here, honestly, getting further from Durango and more out into, I don't have any other word for it than like desert Colorado, was a kind of jarring transition.
Yeah.
Because what you see here, obviously there's some red rocks, which look really cool, but there's also some greenery. We didn't see any greenery.
Yeah, like when we left Durango, we did drive. That was when we drove through the rest of the San Juan and Rio Grande National Park.
Yes. This was the longest single day commute, which was about 5 hours.
So leaving Durango was actually pretty cool. Some nice mountain drives, some state park drives, things like, or national park. I can't remember. I think it's at least one's national. The San Juan National Forest.
Yes. Yeah. San Juan is the one.
But then once we left, like,
Rio Grande is also a national forest.
Yeah. So once we left the like national forest, we went from like pretty mountain drives to like
this
dirt. It was like dirt with like tufts. We literally, I think we literally saw tumbleweeds.
Yes, we saw tumbleweeds. I saw a prairie dog, and I saw a dead rattlesnake. And when we drove by the dead rattlesnake, I was like, "There's no way that's got a rattle. That's a, I don't know."
The roadkill rattlesnake.
Guys, I am a Northeasterner. I also have, this may surprise a lot of people, I was born in Texas. Didn't spend a whole lot of time there, but one of my earliest memories was squaring off with a rattlesnake at a very young age. So like, this is one of my deep-seated traumas. Of many, I have many. But I have a love-hate relationship with snakes as a whole, because I'm like, oh, they're cool, and they're fascinating creatures, but also
you don't want to.
Many of them can kill you, and rattlesnakes are one of them. So I am like, I'm a little nervous seeing that on the side of the road, because now I have to watch my footing every time I get out of the car. But it was fine. We didn't see another one until Denver, where they don't often go. So Royal Gorge, 971 feet above the Arkansas River, which was magnificent to see. I was very proud of Katie, who not only did the glass bottom gondola, but also looked right out over the edge of the bridge twice for photos. You did get mad vertigo on this one.
I was a little nervous because suspension bridges, I didn't like feeling any bounce. Like it was very stable. It's not like, a swinging bridge or anything like that. But occasionally,
this is Golden Gate strong. Like
occasionally staff members would either drive like a little Kubota or even a bigger truck across. And when they drove, you could feel like
bum, 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 bum.
But I figured out if I was walking, like giving them space, but walking while they were doing it, I didn't feel the bounce, and that didn't bother me as much. But it's things like this where, one wrong move and you're going over the edge that freaked me out a little bit. The gondola was fine. The gondola's enclosed. I like the glass bottom. Now, if that bridge had a glass bottom, it would have taken me probably like 15 minutes to get across.
Well, what it did have were wooden slats.
Yeah,
and
which
there
you
were
could
gaps
see through.
between the wooden. So like they weren't huge gaps, but like imagine like that. Yeah. For every slat, there was that little gap between two pieces of wooden plank on the bridge.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that to this day they're still using wooden planks for the bridge, like to actually walk across.
What, instead of like metal?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I can't imagine it's not safe.
It's perfectly safe. No, it's very safe.
We actually learned when we were there that there was a really bad fire in I think it was 2013, 2014 that burned a lot of the park, including some of the bridge, but there were some slats that remained, and they actually used like the charred wood to make like some paneling in their visitor center, which I thought was kind of cool and paid homage to the incident and whatnot. And then, of course, the bridge was it was not open to the public at that point because of obvious reasons, but then they rebuilt it and reopened it. And so
it was very cool. Yeah. And it was also like a full park. It wasn't just like the bridge. It was the gondola ride. It was the children's play area.
Yeah.
There's a little movie theater that's not showing like Supergirl. It's showing like
showing like documentaries.
Plenty of food options.
Some days in that theater they do actually like a live bird show, like a raptor.
Yes,
show.
That's after Memorial Day. They start doing that once a day.
And there were definitely some big birds flying around, vultures, hawks, stuff like that. It seemed like we were there kind of like maybe pre-season again.
Which is good for us. It also shifted from a winter day to a summer day that day.
Yeah. Like I went from needing that coat to like taking that coat off completely.
Desperately trying to strip the clothes off.
There's like a stage where it seems like they might do some events some days. So there may be like bands playing or maybe like school performances or something like that. So that was kind of cool. And there was a lot of little like kiosks to get food, but none of them appeared to be open, which is fine because we ate at the like main restaurant, which was pretty good, all things considered. This was like, oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say we had tickets that were just general admission, which included the gondola, and you could pick glass bottom gondola if you wanted to. So we did that every single time.
Yeah.
It also included access to the children's play areas, the theater, and the bridge itself, which you could walk.
And there was
a
little carousel that we were supposed to be able to get on, but it wasn't that closed.
Not including that in the children's park, because there were other things in the area. There are add-on experiences, most of them thrill-based. So I think the world's tallest zip line, I could be mistaken, it might have been displaced, but I believe that
one of
when
the
we
world's
looked at
tallest zip lines.
You're zipping over 971
it's a
foot
big
drop.
One.
It's intimidating.
Which
there's also like the Superman
big swing thing
where you lie flat prone on your stomach and then you have to pull your own cord and swing out over it.
There was a Via Ferrata,
yes,
which is rock climbing,
which I would never do.
Honestly, I might be interested in doing that.
You'd rather do that than
It depends on the difficulty level and how much. Like I don't know. I may do that, but the zip line I actually would have done. Which I'm glad it was. We were trying to save money.
It was pricey.
And, we were filming our own video, and we were like, they probably won't let you take your own cameras on and all that stuff. But we watched people
They
go.
might actually have in hindsight because they were being pretty lax about like people taking cameras wherever.
Yeah.
But I'm very much a letter of the law type person when it comes to filming. I don't like filming in restricted areas without permission or taking gear that I'm not supposed to have because who knows what the safety rules and regulations are meant to be and why.
Yeah.
So,
But if we ever go back, maybe we'd upgrade for something.
I like that there is something to go back for.
Yeah.
Like the bridge was enough for us on the day we went.
Yeah, and that was enough to do.
We did the gondolas twice, and we did the bridge walk twice, and we played in the little park like the kids we are, and then we were done.
Had lunch. And
when we were out. Now, I will say that when driving to Royal Gorge Bridge Park, I don't know if it's Royal Gorge Bridge Park or Royal Gorge Bridge and Park. The Royal Gorge itself is not visible from the main highway.
Yeah.
So you look like you're driving into the middle of nowhere with a bunch of like defunct tourists. There was like a dinosaur park that was closed really recently. So like rotting T-Rex on the side of the road.
There's like fake looking saloons and stuff.
Yep. And then you drive into private property before you hit the bridge
Like
park, which I
state
believe
park.
is also private.
think it's a state.
It might be built on a state
I
park,
think
but the
Canyon
attraction-
City Canyon City itself owns
Let's
the
look it up.
Royal Bridge Park.
Let's look it up so we don't lie.
Yeah, I don't think the Royal Bridge is private.
It is.
It probably was at some point, but I believe that Canyon City owns or the state owns Royal Gorge. I could be wrong.
Royal Gorge Park is a state park, but the bridge and it is and park, by the way. Royal Gorge Bridge and Park is privately operated, 360-acre amusement and historical park in Canyon City.
Okay.
So you're driving what we'll effectively call it driving from state property into private property and then into another private property. So driving into Royal Gorge Bridge and Park, as we now know, we'll call it a politically charged experience.
Well,
there's a lot of different viewpoints represented in
Yeah.
big banners on the side of the road, and you're starting to be like, where am I going? What am I?
Who am I supporting? It's also like a very windy, like you won't see the gorge until you're on top of it, basically.
And if you map directly to Royal Gorge Bridge and Park, you will wind up reaching your destination when you cross onto the private property that the park
there's
is
still
on.
maybe
But
another mile or so.
There's
to
still like
go.
2 more miles before you'll see anything, and it'll be like a dusty back roads, couple of miles. So.
And then you'll get to a very like nicely paved parking lot that has clear signage.
It's well taken care. It's incredibly modern when you get there, but like driving there, you feel like you're
like,
getting
am
lost
I going
in the desert.
in the right direction? Yeah.
So, all of that having been said, Canyon City has I'm not going to say it's like a not worth visiting because there's plenty to do there besides the park. But the biggest draws for Canyon City right now are surely the Royal Gorge Bridge and Park and the Royal Gorge Railroad. So you can do all of Canyon City in one day, and lots of people do. Our vlog will probably be all of the things that we did in one video, but we did it over 2 days. And the reason being because we had just driven like 5 hours. Didn't want to try to do more than we were ready for.
Which we think ended up being a good call.
But we did do the railroad though.
We did.
This is not our photo. This is a photo that I took to kind of accurately reflect the passage through Royal Gorge, which you see this train coming from the bridge,
and it looks like a model train.
It looks like a tiny little, like a Thomas the Tank Engine playset moving at the bottom.
So small.
But when you're at the bottom looking up, the bridge is the thing that looks like a tiny model, and it's just it's crazy to see it from the top and then from the bottom. I'm sure it would be the same going the other way. We splurged on this one because honestly, it was a shorter train ride, and it wasn't as expensive because it's a shorter train ride. So we did our very first Vista Dome, which is these glass panels that allow you to look up, down, all around. As Vista Domes go, I will say these are not the most impressive of the ones we've seen reflected in other people's videos.
So you can see that there's actually a ceiling on our dome car. We have seen other dome cars where
full panoramic.
It's like, that ceiling is clear glass as well. And there's obviously like junction points for the windows and whatnot. But it was not quite as dramatic.
However,
but I mean, these pictures are available online, so it wasn't like it was that much of a surprise.
Pre-season, there's less volume on the cars. If you come during peak season, and I don't think we did it on a Saturday. I think we did it on
it's like a Wednesday.
Thursday. It was Thursday, wasn't it? Because we did the train ride and then we went on to Colorado
Bridge
Springs.
was Wednesday, Thursday was train.
We did it on Thursday, which is not going to be peak traffic anyway. But in the summertime on a Saturday, they make it very clear when you buy your tickets, you will be seated across from other couple. Yeah. Usually if you're 2 and you don't have enough to fill out a 4, they're all booths of 4-seaters. So if you're 2 and you don't have enough people to fill out both sides, what's more than likely going to happen is that another couple is going to sit across from you.
Yeah.
However, there was a miracle. We started moving and the other seats were empty, and our server, which every Vista Dome car has a dedicated server, came around and just told us, like, yeah, there's no one going to be there, so you can do what you like, spread out a little bit. And we were like, cha-ching! That's not going to happen for everyone, and we will mention it in our video. But it was a very nice surprise that day. So the route was only about 45 minutes one way, and then
maybe 40 back. It was
back.
faster back. They said they would go faster on the way.
Although
back.
They did do a hold for like
a couple minutes
as a moment of silence for, was it? I can't even remember. I'm so disrespectful right now.
No, at some point in the gorges in the railroad's history, they were trying to take like these, I think they were decommissioned like World War II planes through the gorge, and a wing got caught and ended up dragging like 2 people down into the gorge.
That's why the metal's all tangled.
And so it's called the wing stop. So they stop in memory of the 2 men that lost their lives trying to.
And then it's conveniently right under the bridge on your way back. So like it was a hold for like a moment of silence and solace, but it was also like you could look up and take as many pictures, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I would put Royal Gorge Railroad as like a top experience or even a must-do train ride, but we were there and it was something that we knew we wanted to do because we had already seen the gorge from the top looking down, and we wanted to go the other way. And because it's a shorter ride, the Vista Dome experience was much cheaper than it would be on like if there was a Vista Dome on the Durango rail, which is there? I didn't see one when we booked, but different routes might have different options.
I don't know if there was. I don't think there were dome cars.
If there had been, and we had booked that, it would have been at least 5 times as expensive.
I don't think, looking back, I don't think there were any dome cars on the
I don't think so either. At least not the train that we.
Because if there were, that's what Downey would have booked, and he did not.
Nah, he goes open air.
Yeah, but he goes fancy too.
Not to go back to Durango because we've already passed it and we'll spend all day on it if we keep going back. But when we booked Durango, we were angling for the presidential class because there's a minimum age, which means we wouldn't have to worry about like keeping kids out of the frame. But also there was supposed to be like a private standing platform that you could walk out upon. Presidential was all booked up by the time we booked this trip, and we were like, okay, well then it's either that or open air. And open air is so many steps down from presidential, but it wound up being, I think, better than what presidential would have turned out to be. Yeah. Because we would have spent so little time at our seats, it would just be open air anyway.
Yeah, we loved being in the open air.
So, and the same is true of Royal Gorge. We booked Vista Dome, and Vista Dome was really cool, and we did get private, wait service and everything, and it was fun to have that experience. But also, we spent a lot of time out on the open air.
Yeah, and we when we booked Vista Dome, it was like access to the open air car. So we were thinking like maybe there wasn't. Everyone didn't get access to the open air car or something, but no, everyone does. And we were like, yeah.
And not only that, but our car was several cars away.
Yeah, we had to go through 4 cars to get to the open air car.
And Katie, if we hadn't had the Vista Dome, we never would have known that the bridge was coming because they didn't announce it. So Katie's like,
and I'm like, the bridge is coming.
And then we had to like leap up and like we're in the middle of eating. We're like throwing our food up, run. It'll be a funny part of the vlog, I think. But like it was.
Yeah.
I think our expectations were disassociated with the reality of the experience a little bit. And it wasn't a bad experience at all. It was.
The Vista Dome was probably like, of the classes, it was probably like if you have first and then second, it was probably like second-ish class. It was still more expensive, but there was like a first class car, and I think they had an open air car right next to their car. So they also got like a Vista Dome. So there was like
better bathrooms.
Yeah, probably. So I think in hindsight, I probably would have been like, let's just do coach because we're going to spend the whole time in the open air car anyway.
Or first class.
Or go super bougie.
That close to them.
But
I like the Vista Domes for the aesthetic, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that we did it, and I don't have any regrets about doing it. But as Katie said, if we had to do it again, I would probably...
Like, if it was the same exact conditions, knowing that Vista Dome was going to be 4 cars away from the open air car, not again.
Yeah. Now, this next chapter, there will not be any vlogs on, because the time that we spent
But there was no plan for when.
There was no plan, but like the time we spent in Denver and Colorado Springs was primarily for hanging out with friends, who we will plug at a certain point in this live stream. But we wanted to talk about it because
it was part of the trip.
It was part of the trip, and also like as people who are attending the live stream right now, however few you may be, we are excited to give you guys a little sneak peek into some of the more like personal experiences that we had. So Meow Wolf Denver, I have been to before, and part of the reason we didn't vlog it is because I've already done a vlog here. Katie had never been before because I came solo on a day when she was tied up with bridesmaid responsibilities.
Yes.
Maybe like an hour or two north of Denver.
Yeah.
When we went back, we were all together, and it was a lot of fun. And not only did we get much further with the lore and actually like solve some of the puzzles, but we were able to go with some friends who had never been, who are Colorado locals. And that would be our friends Annie and JP, who you may recognize from Laurel's House of Horror, past work that we've done with them. Transplants from Maryland to Colorado, who we're very excited to see. And they were excellent hosts, and we are excited to say that we will be seeing them again later this year. For very different reasons, spooky reasons. But more on that when the time comes. It was a wonderful, wonderful time that we spent between Colorado Springs and Denver, much, if not all of which, will never appear on our socials or in video form. So this is your sneak peek. It's all you're going to get. But if you've never been to Meow Wolf, I would say that we do have a vlog from 2024, and the property has not changed since then. Not that I noticed, anyway. There might be a couple additions here and there, but like I did not notice anything that was drastically different from when I shot in 2024. So that vlog is out there if you're interested in seeing it. Just do a sweep of our channel for Meow Wolf, and there's only 2 videos. You'll find it. It's really, really cool. Immersive art experience. If you have no idea what Meow Wolf is, it's an immersive art experience where everything is interactive and touchable, and dozens, if not hundreds of artists came together to build lore. And Meow Wolf is not a single location. It actually has multiple locations all over the country, but every single one of them is different, has different lore, has a different story. And so there's always something new to do every time you go. It's a lot of fun. And it's definitely something that I recommend to anyone who's going to be in Denver, even for a short window of time.
And if you're interested in the interactiveness, I mean, there's interactivity, but if you're interested in like playing along with the story, when you're getting your ticket, what we call it the booper, but I don't know what it's actual.
I call it the booper because when we got it's a Q Pass.
Q Pass.
When we got the Q Pass at Omega Mart in Vegas, the first guy that we talked to said, "You got to boop it," and I was like, "Oh, boop." And then it just became the booper.
Yeah. So it's a Q Pass, and that basically
unlocks the
interacts with the like screen modules throughout and gives you clues and pieces of the story, sends you on quests, things like that. I think in Vegas it was like $3. It might be more than that now.
It was $4 at Denver, but it might be $4 across the board in all the different places. It's really not that much. And like one party can use, like a whole party can use one card.
You only need one.
You don't need to buy
group.
4 for 4 people.
You just need someone to be the keeper of the booper, which was me. And
what a good job you did.
I did an excellent job booping.
It's rewarding to spend 3 to 4 hours there and get the story, because you can actually change the environment by interacting and participating in certain ways. But you can also just go, just to look,
you can also
and
just
take pictures and have a fun.
It just depends on like how engaged, or how, like, Annie and JP are a bunch of gamers. They enjoy challenges and games and whatnot. So we all decided when we walked in, it's like, oh no, we're all in and we're getting this and we're doing the story.
And also, when you are done, you can actually, if you want to, you don't have to, you can take your card back to the front and they'll clear it for you. So that the next time you come, you can start the whole thing over again. If you don't, it'll retain your progress. So like if you get halfway through the story and then you want to leave, like you've been there 5 hours, you're not making any headway, you're ready to go home, you can actually bring it back and continue from where you started or from where you last left off.
So
I'm told by Katie that I need to put a trigger warning out there for this next slide.
If you
because
don't like snakes, or if small animals being fed to snakes is triggering for you,
I mean, that spoiler alert.
You have to tell them what it is or else they'll freak out.
I was just gonna say like vor or like
all right,
animal on animal violence.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
So
animal on animal violence.
Tell me that's not what it is.
It is, but I feel like you're a newscaster. Updates in animal on animal violence in the neighborhood today.
We didn't take as many pictures as we did video at the Denver Zoo, but we did go to the Denver Zoo, and this is very much a throwaway. Like, hey, we woke up earlier than we wanted to get out and do something. It was a nice day. Pricier than maybe it should be for the experience that we had, but it was also Memorial Day weekend.
Parking
and we did do it on a Saturday.
Was also a disaster.
It was a cool zoo though, and it's allegedly one of the most, like, the best rated in terms of how they humanely treat the animals. The reason the snake is one of the 2 photos we have here, and we took a couple more, but like these were the photos that I decided to call out, is because this was one of the coolest things we saw that day.
Yeah.
Was we just happened to and rattlesnakes don't eat that often.
This was a diamondback, right?
Yeah,
this snake is eating a rat. It's not eating a mouse. That's how big this snake is.
And it was right up on the glass.
Yeah.
Like it was
showing off.
Crazy to see.
Because there was another smaller rattlesnake that was eating a mouse. And that one was definitely like this big. This rat was this big.
Hold on. No one can see your hands.
This rat was like this big. So the
like
snake
this big.
Had to like open its jaw like this big. It was crazy.
They had a pretty healthy collection of
snakes,
reptiles.
Like the reptile house was really cool. You have to kind of go off the beaten path to see it. And the reptile house is also where they had a sloth that had a baby. Sloth mommy.
Some of this was on Instagram. It will not be in a vlog because we didn't.
The reptile house was also where they had capybara. And yeah, lots of snakes. But they were really some snakes I had never seen before. So cool.
It's not a snake zoo.
No,
but it's
there was plenty of other stuff.
We had a really great animal interaction day.
Yeah,
and we got another train ride.
That was not
wasn't worth the money.
The train is not worth it. I'm sorry, Denver Zoo.
It's a teeny tiny little loop,
so
and you have to pay extra.
We got sucked in, but we're like train, and then it was like this is dumb. So sorry.
It scratched an itch, but not very well.
It did something.
I will say, like, if you live in Denver and you want to just like pass a couple hours, this is a really fun way to do it. Like, it's not like we didn't have fun at the Denver Zoo. We had tons of fun at
I think it's a good zoo. I would just say and we were there on a Saturday, so that's why parking
on Memorial
was terrible.
Day weekend.
Yes. So their like actual parking lot fills up very quickly, and they say like go to something park. So we had to drive like a ways, like maybe a half a mile.
We drove to the back of the park
because there's
the zoo is in a park.
Yeah, there's a very
we drove to the back of the park, like, and then had to walk back.
Park that's beautiful around the zoo. So the parking was free, but we had to go find it. And then that walk from our parking spot to like the zoo entrance was like 15 minutes. So
20.
It was
and
long.
We were on a clock, which is part of why we were like, I think when we pulled up and there was no parking and we spent maybe 20 minutes searching for parking, we were like, if we don't find something in the next 10, we need
have
to bail.
go.
But we did find a spot in the next 10, and then we had to like account for how long it was going to take to get back to that spot when we left.
Yeah.
So we didn't see absolutely we saw a lot.
Yeah.
Like we saw a lot of the zoo, but we didn't
probably
see
would have needed like 45 more minutes to see absolutely everything.
It's not that big, but it's big enough that it filled like
and
3 hours.
We spent a while in the reptile house because it was so cool. But we also had lunch there, and we had pretty decent pizza for a zoo.
I wasn't disappointed.
Like the pizza by the reptile house and the sea lions, not bad. Quite impressive, honestly. I was expecting like middle school lunch zoo, and I got like pizzas, like pizza. Little middle school lunch zoo is what I said. Middle school lunch pizza at the zoo. And we got instead was like, I think pizza that was comparable to like an actual pizzeria.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't cheap.
No.
Food at the zoo never
But we
is,
shared one.
But we shared one, and they had Coke Zero, so I was happy.
Yeah.
Having said that, the Denver Zoo was always a time waster activity.
Yeah.
So like our bar was pretty low to begin with. We were like, let's just get out and do something. And we did, and it was fun. But the real reason that we needed to be somewhere and we needed to watch the clock and we needed to get back to a hotel and shower and change is because what wound up being one of the best things we did on the trip was only a few hours away. And that was Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. I did not anticipate how fun this was going to be. You definitely didn't anticipate how fun this was going to be.
I also didn't know like that it was like, it's not just dinner. It's like a full evening experience.
It's a theme park.
It's basically a theme park.
It's very much a theme park on a very, by theme park standards, on a very small scale. By restaurant standards, it's the most incredible restaurant that you've ever dined at, and the food isn't why.
It's. I don't want to say it's like Rainforest Cafe because I think that
that's the next closest thing would be the Rainforest Cafe.
The theming is, I think, even better than Rainforest Cafe. It's like if Rainforest Cafe had characters, like meetable characters and
interactive walkthroughs
shows and things like that, I suppose, and just in terms of theming. But I don't want to say that it's really, I don't want to like draw that comparison because I think this is better than Rainforest Cafe.
Kyle on South Park characterized it as the Disneyland of Mexican restaurants, and that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. And for those who aren't familiar, first of all, this will be a vlog. Yeah, this was the one vlog we shot in Denver. And
our reservation was at 4. Our table seating was 4:30. We left Casa Bonita at like 9:30, and it closed at 10:30. I think.
Yeah, we all. They don't
seat people after like 8 or 9. I think.
I will also say, to my knowledge, from what we saw, we were the only ones who were there filming anything.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people had their cell phones out,
taking Instagram stuff.
But like actual content creation.
Usually when you're
on
walking
Memorial
around
Day weekend, I thought it was going to be like us and like 4 other people.
You're walking around with like an Osmo Pocket, you're going to see like 3 other people with that same camera. We didn't see any more.
The characters were so into it.
They loved us. We loved them.
Some of them are our best friends now. It was absolutely wild, and if you're unfamiliar with the history of Casa Bonita, it was originally a standalone location which became a chain. The chain folded.
Failed.
The chain didn't resonate outside of Colorado or even really outside of Denver, and so the chain closed up. It became a one standing location again. The food was never great. Never from the beginning to the present has anyone raved about how good the food is. Even Cartman is just wants to get the sopapillas. But when South Park made an entire episode about Cartman trying to get to Casa Bonita, it kind of soft blew up because only Coloradoans knew about Casa Bonita at that time. During the pandemic, it hit a critical fluctuation point and was about to close forever. And Matt and Trey, the creators of South Park, actually went and purchased the last remaining Casa Bonita in that location. They now own and fully operate Casa Bonita's singular location. When we went, I had pre-reserved, I think 4, maybe 6 months in advance, a table, premium seating, which is supposed to be near the waterfall. Didn't actually wind up needing it. Like, in the end, we could have booked anywhere and been fine. You don't control where you sit. You can only choose between premium or non-premium. But if you choose premium, you're not really getting that much better of a view, depending on where you sit. Sometimes you get very lucky.
Yeah, you could be very lucky and be like right next to the water, or you could be like us and having like a tree obstruct your view.
I am actually a member of the Founders Club because I was...
Your card out.
It has all my personal information on it. I was paying very close attention during the pandemic because I really wanted to go to Casa Bonita before we had any Colorado trip.
Yeah, he was really terrified it was going to close.
When we started seeing news reports like Casa Bonita closing for good or whatever, I was like, no, we missed it. It's going to be Temple of the Nighthawk all over again. But fortunately, when Matt and Trey bought it out, I was following the... I don't even know what to call it. It was their policy was change nothing, improve everything. So like they were gutting things, but they were rebuilding it to look exactly as it had looked, but with better like.
I mean, when you walk in there, like this restaurant has been open since it was either like 1973, I think it was.
It's printed on the front.
Yeah, it's either 73 or 74. We got it. We had to correct it in the video, I think. So we're talking like 40 plus years, almost 50, right, of this restaurant. And when you walk in, like things were
1973.
Yeah, so things were repainted, like it didn't look like a 50-year-old.
It looks brand new.
It looked very nice.
And it smells brand new, and it's kept incredibly clean. And what's most important of all is that Matt and Trey are trailblazing in a sense and actually paying staff, like waiters and waitresses, livable wages.
Right.
So tipping, which I am just genetically at this point programmed to tip as much as possible because I've been on the other side of the table. I know how difficult the job is. I want people to be rewarded for a good work, even if they didn't put all their best stuff forward. It's not even necessary. Like they tell you at your table, like, there is a tipping option. I'm already covered. So that tip, if you choose to get it, will just go to everyone on the floor. And honestly, I'm glad that I tipped anyway, because later we found out how many people are working the floor as characters or roaming people. And I'm like, they deserve the tips. They were the funnest part of the evening.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Founders Club was opened when Matt and Trey bought and started renovating the building. And it was basically just like, hey, get it on the ground floor. This will never be offered again. If you want to join the Founders Club, all you have to do is sign up. And I think it was like a $5 registration fee. And that was it. And now, I mean, we made that $5 back easily in discounts and
oh yeah, and like not to
stuff.
mention just like it's a cool place. It's, I think, a treasure in certain sense. So knowing that,
it's
you know,
literal treasure.
Some of we invested in keeping it alive and going. And I think the staff, I think even before Matt and Trey bought it, did really like their jobs.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to lose them. So the fact that their job gets to stay and then they get to earn more money and stay, like, I think that just feels good to have participated in that. Towards the end, right when we were about to leave, one of the cliff divers was holding up a sign that says like Matt and Trey pay us fairly, which I think we caught. It's probably going to go in the video.
It's probably a little bit out of focus though.
Yeah,
we're talking about a cliff diver
phone.
Who's at the top of
but
a
waterfall. Maybe we can put like some subtitles to say like what the sign says, because we know what it said. But that was like really cool. Was really impactful to see, and it felt good to know that they felt that way.
I don't have photos of the cliff divers because we were videoing every single one of them. But the cliff divers were amazing and impressive as well. And you can tell they really love. I mean, some of them could be Olympians one day. Like
or could have been.
Or could have been former Olympians. Yeah, they were really good at what they did. So like, we're talking about roaming characters, lore. There was it was designed for kids, the little map passport thing that we took around. But like you
they handed it to us.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be a kid for the day.
I want to find all the things.
We got stamps from characters as we were walking around.
Do we have our Kraken?
You have a Kraken. That was the treasure you found as a result of completing your passport.
A baby Kraken. We adopted baby Kraken.
Little pearls. And they also added a little bit of South Park flair to everything.
There's a Cartman shrine.
There's a Mantequilla missing poster. Mantequilla.
Have you seen this Mexican?
Guys,
Sorry.
Without context, that sounds really bad.
No, but it's
I know. I've seen the episode. This experience wound up being. It sounds stupid, like when we talk about it, because we're so hype on it, but like it is so good.
If this sounds terrible to you, please do not go. Don't waste your time and money. But if you like theming, if you like characters. If you like watching,
if you like Disneyland
performances, if you like Muppets,
you don't need to be a South Park fan.
No, definitely not.
And you never did. But like, if you go as someone who has seen the South Park episode, there's little Easter eggs to reward you. If you go as someone who likes Disneyland, or as Katie said, like interacting with characters, or just like lore, and fun experiences, like it is peak.
Yeah.
The food is okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's
fine.
But
you're not there for the food.
You're only at the table for an hour, and then you're free to do whatever you want. And you don't even have to stay the hour.
Yep. The drinks were good, though. I did think the drinks were good. Oh my gosh, we're only here?
This is the end.
I know. I just can't believe I've been talking so much.
I think there will be 5 vlogs total from Colorado, which doesn't feel like a lot given all we did, but like a lot of them are combining multiple days. When all is said and done, like this was one of our favorite trips. Yeah. There are a few things that could have gone better. We usually wrap these things up by doing the good, the bad, and the ugly, but honestly, the trip was so good that we decided to do the ugly, the bad, the good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 2 ugly things, and we'll just keep going forward into positivity from there.
Mm-hmm.
The first ugly thing was arriving in Glenwood Springs, which is, as we said, a very pretty town. Like, scenic. We're driving in, we're looking, and we're like, wow, this is going to be so great. We see, like, the hot springs that we didn't even know were there, which is stupid of us because the town is called Glenwood Springs. See the hot springs that are active in there, and they have a little, like, I don't know what to call it, not a lazy river, but like a little mini rapids within it. It looked like it was going to be wonderful. We saw the gondolas, we saw the park at the top of the mountain. We're like, we're going to have the best 48 hours.
And be like, I can't wait to find a cute little place to have dinner.
That was sad. So we walk into, and we booked cheap hotels over the course of this trip, with one exception in downtown Denver, mostly due to proximity, not because of anything special about the hotel.
We pulled up to our Hampton Inn.
Our Hampton Inn, which
looked adorable.
We know Hampton Inn is a brand. It's pretty reliable. We know what to expect. We know what the rooms are like. We walk in, all the lights are off. We're like, oh, where's the elevator? And they're like, well, the elevator's down right now, so I'm really sorry. And we're like, oh, well, we're on the 4th floor, so
I guess we're hiking these bags up there.
So we did that, and we were thinking, we've stayed in hotels that have had their powers out before. If it doesn't come back on, I'm sure they'll reimburse us. That only works if it's the hotel's problem. If the hotel is out of power because the hotel did something wrong, or they can't identify the issue, or there's some kind of electrical something or other, then they will refund you. If, however, the entire town and every town around it for 10 miles is also out of power, you do not get your money back.
We showed up. It was around like 5:30. We had no idea what was going on. We get in our car thinking, well, maybe in a few hours the hotel power will be back. Let's go out for dinner. And we're driving through town, and all these signs say closed. Bunch of traffic lights are out. Every once in a while, there's a traffic light that works, and we're like
operated on solar
and
power.
we're like, maybe some streets work, some don't. We park, we walk around, everything is closed. And workers are like sitting outside just chilling because there's nothing they can do. Some places are selling a little bit of food, and like, I guess if people had cash, they could pay for it. But that was the thing. I was like, we have nothing to pay for except for credit cards right now.
So what apparently happened was an entire section of the Colorado State power grid went down. And the impacted areas were Glenwood Springs, Parachute, Aspen, and whatever was just east of Glenwood Springs as well.
Yeah, can't remember. There were at least four.
Well. There were 4 cities that were completely powerless, and Glenwood Springs was one of them. And we were like, okay, if this is not resolved by tomorrow, our whole day is shot, because you can take a Rambler up to the top of Glenwood Caverns, but none of the attractions would have been working. No. The caves themselves, I think, would have been fine, except for that you didn't have lights in them.
Yeah, they would have
taken us in with a flashlight, and had to have been. It would have been a very
It would not
watered down
have been
version.
the day that we wanted, and probably not worth the time or money. So we did end up finding one of like 2 food trucks that were in town, and that guy probably had the best sales of his entire life.
Wasn't bad, honestly. Like,
no, it was
I love
good.
a good
It was
food
like
truck,
it was like Korean food. It was good.
What was disappointing was there is like a whole culinary district in Glenwood Springs,
there
which
were
we were really excited to try,
of
and we only got to have 1 meal in that district instead of like 3.
Yeah.
So
we got our food truck food. We went and ate it by the river. We went back to our room and went to bed.
Power did come back on right before we went to sleep.
Yep.
So in the morning, like, all the food we put in the fridge was cold. It worked out.
We still got our breakfast in the morning.
And we actually made friends with the concierge at the Hampton, because so many people left.
Yeah.
So many people left in the middle of the day or the night. Like, when we showed up, people were actively moving out of the hotel.
Yeah.
And I think we were one of maybe like 4 or 5 parties that chose to stay. And so I'm like, I came with a bunch of cameras, so I've got like portable chargers and whatnot. I'm handing things out to the concierge, like, oh, your phone is dead, like, you need to be able to contact people. Here, take this.
Yep.
And honestly, at the end of the day, like, we had honestly a pretty pleasurable stay, but it started out very disappointing, and we were really upset.
And we just felt bad because it's like, no, it's no one's fault. Like, and the
there's
town
nothing
is
anyone
lovely,
can do.
but there's nothing they could do. We
were close to not having the first big thing on our trip.
But obviously,
the vlog is out.
All the power came back on. We had a great day at Glenwood Caverns. We had a very nice dinner.
My OCD is kicking in right at the end here.
We had a very nice dinner in Glenwood Springs that night, and then the next morning we left. Now, I don't remember if this was ugly or bad, but we did have that terrible rain driving into Ouray. That was
that as bad.
Okay,
but
then what else was what else did you want to file under ugly?
The end. The start and the end of the trip did not go as planned. Everything on the trip, in the middle of the trip, getting from place to place on the trip, doing the things we wanted to do on the trip, went perfectly. The end of the trip, flying back. First of all, we booked a flight at Dark 100 to come home, because when you're going eastward, you're changing time zones and losing time. So from mountain time to Eastern time, we're like, we have to be able to go back to work the next day. Unfortunately, we didn't give ourselves enough padding because we were using Memorial Day as a holiday for travel.
Yep.
So we booked a flight at Dark 100, which I knew was going to be awful, just because no matter when I go to bed, I'm not able to get to sleep until a certain hour. And at around midnight the night before, with an original departure time of 5:45. We got an email from Southwest, as of course we did, saying, your flight's been canceled. You've been moved to a new flight, which has a layover. It was originally a direct flight, which would have gotten us home much earlier. you're now on a flight that has a layover in Indiana, and it's going to take you 7 hours to get home. And I was like, well, our rest and relaxation on the other side is screwed, but at least we'll get home.
And we still have to return the car for you.
That was another piece, because like, even though if you move the enterprise rental contract on the day you're meant to return the car, there is a fee, and the fee can be small if you're inside of like a full week or whatever. But if you're crossing from one day into the next day and entering a new 24-hour period, the fees are significant. So we were like, we still have to return the car at 4, which means we just have to get to the airport and sit and camp. And initially, I was like, oh, it'll be okay. I'll just work on an edit. I freaked out like when I got the email, and I was really mad because I wanted to like relax at the end of the day. But like when we actually got to the airport, I was like, it'll be fine, because I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to edit a video, and we'll have this video out at the end of the week. Did not, in fact, have the video out at the end of the week. I had a good start going on that edit, which I don't usually edit on vacation, but I don't consider the travel home to be part of the vacation.
Nah.
Then we had airport breakfast, and I got some little chicken minis inside of a biscuits, and something was very off about the biscuits. Not the chicken. The chicken was actually fine, but the biscuits themselves, it was like eating wet, uncooked dough, and I threw the whole thing away after maybe 2 bites. Those 2 bites would cost me a week of my life, because when we landed in Indiana 4 hours later, no, not 4 hours, a little less than 4 hours. Yeah. The first flight was short.
I was hungry for lunch, and you were like,
starving, and I was like, I haven't eaten 7 hours, but I really don't feel like eating. And other than not being hungry, I was fine. But like you could tell something was off, because I'm usually quite hungry after 4 hours, let alone 7. So then we get on our second flight from Indiana back to Baltimore. When we touch down in Baltimore is when everything goes to hell, because as we're sitting there waiting to disembark the plane, I'm like, something is happening to my body, and I need to sit from it. And I'm like, I wore like a hoodie because I was cold originally,
and
I'm stripping off and like throwing my hat down.
Like in your hands.
My head's in my hands, and I'm like, just hold it together, hold it together, hold it together. And I pulled like the air sick bag from the seat, and they're like, you don't usually use that when you're landed, but okay. Spoiler alert, wild food poisoning. I didn't measure my weight on the trip. I would wager that I lost maybe 4 pounds just hiking, because we had been sedentary for a long while and we were suddenly being active. But between leaving for the trip and when I finally recovered from food poisoning a full week and a half later, I lost 14 pounds just from not being able to eat. So that was pretty awful. I've had food poisoning before, but never like that. That was really bad. I'm glad that you didn't have what I had, and you were able to resume normal life. My food was not poisoned. But I was living on like bananas and mashed potatoes and
wheat thins, applesauce,
a couple things here and there, and I couldn't eat much.
You eventually graduated to like toast with peanut butter.
That was a big day for me.
That was a big day.
So not to dwell on it, but that was the initial power outage, just dampening our spirits and making it impossible to have nice meals out, and then the food poisoning making it impossible to have literally any meals for a week and a half after returning home. I did get to take time off work though, because I was legitimately ill. Yeah. So I was unable to work, and I did get some additional rest and relaxation time, but it wasn't very relaxing.
I wouldn't call it relaxing. Maybe restful.
It wasn't as relaxing as I would have hoped. We're moving in an upward trend. Bad.
The bad is not a lot. We filed a couple of things under bad, and I alluded to this. When we did leave Glenwood Springs, we were headed for Ouray, and this was when we knew we were trying to get to Box Canyon Falls, and we went back and forth on whether or not we were going to vlog, because on the way there, it was torrential downpours,
and hail.
Blinding, hail. We didn't see any major mudslides, but we did drive over a couple kind of suspect areas that were definitely kind of muddy and wet. And we were just like, well, we know we got to get there. So, and we want to see it. So if we have to put on our coats and umbrellas and stuff when we get there, we just won't vlog it. So that wasn't a great drive for you. At least it wasn't mountainous yet.
Yes. If we had to drive the $1 Million Highway in that weather, we would have had to pull over.
I think I would have needed to be sedated. I don't think I could have made it.
That's how Lilo and Stitch's parents died.
I wasn't driving. Then when we got to Ouray, it was beautiful. We did the vlog, obviously, and then we got.
What's up, Tim? We're alive and thriving now. We just got through talking about our food poisoning.
Yeah, about Tim's food poisoning. So look forward to that if you're gonna go back and listen. When we did leave Ouray, that was when we got on the $1 Million Highway, and that was. It's filed under like good and bad because it's beautiful, awesome. Kind of glad we did it, but never want to do it again because it was scary.
If we're going back to Ouray at any point, we will wind up doing it again.
Yeah, I don't really
want
want to do it again. I know it might be necessary.
I think in the weather we had it would be fine, but you can't control the weather every day.
No.
So
I was terrified. I was really torn between wow, this is. I mean, I don't think we were recording anything then, but I was like, this is awesome, but oh my god, I can't look anymore. Like it was.
We stopped every once in a while so you could get out and take pictures.
Yeah,
of the snow-capped mountains.
Once we were up on the mountain line, that was fine. It was literally because there were some guardrails, and we learned from talking to a park ranger later that a lot of the $1 Million Highway doesn't have guardrails because the snow just piles up when they plow it. It just piles up and then it destroys the rails or blocks the road. So they just need to let the snow fall off. And the highway will close when it's too snowy. Like they're not gonna. And we did actually see some pretty cool architecture of like where they've built like a tunnel that is supposed to allow like
the runoff comes down on top
or landslides just to go right over, which was kind of cool. But there were, helpful in that scenario, but it wasn't over everything. What else were we gonna file under bad?
The Osmo. The Durango.
Oh, when you didn't have the charger.
So the Osmo Pocket, which we use as the primary shooter for inside stuff. I brought it along on the Durango train ride because I knew that it had better overall image resolution for those big panoramic views. We used it a little bit, and we certainly used it in Silverton for the inside stuff that we did at the Lacey Rose Saloon.
Lacey Rose Saloon.
Anyway, I brought it along. It also links directly to our external microphones. So we use it for sound purposes, even if we're not rolling video for video. And the thing about the Osmo is that it's been pretty reliable, but it does die very quickly. When you're shooting in full 4K for a long period of time, you have to have a portable power device to recharge it, or you'll have basically it die in the middle of the day. And I did have a portable charge device. What I didn't have, because I really wasn't thinking about it until it was way too late, was the cord that connects the portable charging device to the Osmo. So I do feel like we shot mostly GoPro that day, and I think it'll turn out fine. It usually does, but I really wanted a much different type of image for the kind of thing we were trying to capture on that ride. And it was a huge bummer to me when we were already on the train and I was like, oh my God, I didn't bring the cord.
We're gonna have to conserve.
This thing is gonna last for maybe a couple of hours and then it's gonna die. So we have to be very careful about what we shoot on this camera. But I mean, you're not gonna film all 5 hours of the train ride and just cut it together realistically, unless you're shooting that kind of content for ASMR purposes. I think the vlog will turn out very well, and I think it will be very pretty to look at, even though it definitely does not capture what the naked eye does.
Yeah.
But that was a blow when you're as perfectionistic as I am and you know exactly what you want, and you know you're never going to be able to get it.
And the only other thing I'd file under bad, which isn't really bad, it was just something that came up, was we had alluded to in our live stream announcing the trip that we might try to hit Elitch Gardens, which is a famous like old amusement park in Denver.
We were right across the street.
Saw it multiple different times. We ended up not going. We went to the zoo instead for 3 reasons. It was a little bit more expensive than the zoo, than 2 people going to the zoo.
Even after those 2 people paid for a stupid train ride that didn't didn't go anywhere.
And we had thought our Casa Bonita reservation was like 5:30. It was actually 4:30.
It's 4.
Or 4, and we had to be there at 4.
We were there like an hour and a half before we had planned.
We were like, we don't want to pay however much dollars to go to Elitch and not be able to like actually do everything.
Even if we had the reservation at the time we originally thought, we would have been shorting ourselves on the day at Elitch.
And then
I mean, it was a side quest in the sense that it was a thing we thought we might do.
We didn't pre-book any tickets. We just thought like, hey, if we have
we knew
time,
we were going to be close, and we were like, there's coaster credits there. Maybe we can hit it. Maybe we can't. And it just didn't work.
And it was and then we were like, it's gonna be a Saturday. What if it's really busy and all we can do is like 2 things? For
there's no fast
$60+
passes or anything.
And stuff. So that was kind of sad. I wouldn't file it. It doesn't really go anywhere else, so we just filed that under the bed. But
there's still time.
Yeah.
It's not closed permanently yet.
Yeah.
I can feel it coming. Like it does not get the foot traffic it once did.
Yeah.
But it's slowing down. We just next time we go to Denver for sure, that should be a priority.
I wasn't mad about the little.
But also we might go to Casa Bonita again.
Yeah, that place is way too fun.
It slaps. Let's talk about the good. The good was mostly the whole trip.
Yeah, it's like file everything else under the good.
We got to see some friends that we haven't gotten to see for a very long time.
Yep.
Most of whom chose to stay off camera, but obviously Annie and JP were very camera friendly because they're from the Honda industry and they're used to it. We didn't film most of our like personal side quests.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of fun stuff. We did Meow Wolf, we did Casa Bonita, we did Denver Zoo, 2 railroads, we did
Box Canyon
Glenwood Caverns, Black Box Canyon. We did a lot more hiking than I think we thought we would do.
And overall, like the weather was really nice. Like most days, every time we had like an outdoor activity plan, we had pretty good weather. Glenwood Caverns had a couple of rainstorms, but we would just pop into and do an indoor activity, and it was fine.
Yep.
So I think the weather was great. Really, no problems traveling there, and then all the travel in between was fine.
No problems with the rental car.
We ate some great meals.
Oh man. And I genuinely, I'm fairly certain that between starting the trip and towards the end of the trip, I did lose weight just from being active, but also like the food we had was fresher than what we're used to in the Northeast. And I don't know if that's because we're just eating on vacation at higher class places. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of McDonald's on this trip. It was pretty much just the privately owned. We ate like a really good Italian meal in Durango from like a guy who transplanted from Italy.
Yeah, actually Italian. We'll address Tim's little thingy
right now.
I mean, that's just thing.
I mean, sure.
We did hear the news about a tidal wave. I'm assuming
Tidal force.
Tidal force. Yeah, that's it. Yes, we did.
Can't address it if you don't know what it's called.
I once did that ride like 4 times in a row just to see how wet I could get. The answer was very wet. My
exact words were good riddance. So
okay,
I'm not
we all
sure.
know how Tim feels about
I'm not sure I'm the one to ask about that particular
attraction. I enjoyed at this point in my life. I enjoyed
energy.
Watching the big splash more than participating in it. But
it adds a lot of kinetic energy to an area of the park that otherwise is devoid of that energy. Yeah. So it would be nice to see something replace it that had a similar vibe.
Yeah,
wasn't quite so simplistic
with the space
as
there.
up, down,
I can't
splash.
imagine. I feel like it's going to be the flat ride of some sorts.
I don't know.
Which has energy.
We'll see.
We'll
see what happens. Yeah. But I hope if they're going to add a flat and pave over that water area, they should at least add some sort of cut through so you can sneak around the back of the park a little easier.
Yeah,
connect the loop.
That'd be cool.
Anyhow.
Anyway, the rest of the trip, I think everything was good. The file under the good, the great even was wonderful. One of our top trips.
After seeing the front of the scenes, it's
also that POV that Hershey shared, where you could see just how decrepit the front of the boat is. It's like, yeah, it's time.
All right.
We're wrapping up.
We have released one vlog from our Colorado trip series so far already. There will be at least 4 more coming. I think that's the grand total is the 5. Also some POVs from Glenwood Cavern still yet to come. Not all of the attractions were attractions that we got, I think, clean POVs on, but the ones that we did, we will post soon. It was just a great trip, guys. Like, honestly, coming home, even before I got sick, was so sad.
It was.
Like, looking at our plane that morning was like, do not want to leave. Everything we've experienced here is so beautiful. And sometimes that's just like the romantic element of vacation. Like, you fall in love with places that you're seeing from a tourist perspective. Would you still love it the same if you lived here, worked here, ate food here every day? But there's something special about Colorado that I feel like we didn't even anticipate how beautiful it was going to be and how much there was to do. And we'd enjoy it. We talked about this trip like it was going to be a one and done, but I think we will be back.
Yeah.
And I think we will certainly be back
we
sooner
already
than
made
later
plans to come back soon, but for different activities. Yeah.
But in the future, I think there's more Colorado travel to be had. Let's pack it in.
Yeah.
Creator Spotlight tonight felt appropriate, both because we've been hyping Annie and JP, and also because Annie actually just made it into the Pro Air affiliate program.
Woo-hoo!
So we're very proud of her and all of her hard work as a creator and also as a model and a body paint artist. Does a lot of work in the haunt industry, currently working with Fear Complex as a think I can say it now, right? It was formally announced.
Yeah.
So
co-creative manager?
Annie and JP were both elevated to management positions at Fear Complex, which is the haunted house they work at in Colorado Springs. So it's been a long road, and we're very, very proud of them both. I thought about putting them both as creator spotlights for this, but JP also has a photography business that I want to highlight. There's too many handles for a single slide.
They deserve their own separate shout
So
outs.
Today's shout out is Annie, our dear friend, and JP's will probably be next. You should definitely check them both out. Annie is Annie Morpho on almost everything. I have Instagram and TikTok listed here. Those were the ones I was able to quickly identify, but I'm pretty sure that she is also Annie Morpho on Facebook and other platforms as well. And may at one point have a YouTube channel. Who knows? Pro Air likes that content.
Yep.
Our next live stream will be June 23rd. I'm not going to lie to you. We have no idea what the topic is going to be because we're all about Colorado right now. And we can't do a whole nother live stream on that. But we have some ideas written down. We will be glad to talk to you guys about something in approximately 2 weeks' time. You did make it, Mitch.
You made it. Hi,
Just
Mitch.
in time. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, those of you who tuned in. It's been a while, so we're a little out of practice, but it was fun talking to those of you who were here. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for joining us on the replay.
Thank you.
And we're so excited to share Colorado content from the rest of our trip very, very soon. Hopefully this Friday, if I keep up my current pace. However, not gonna lie, I'm very tired. I might go to bed tonight. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Until the next time, I've been Tim.
I'm Katie.
Every day
is a new adventure.
See you again soon.
Baby Kraken.
Bye.
Bye.